Hey folks, welcome back. Give me the good stuff. This is John here. Today we're going to talk about intermittent fasting. It's probably something some of you folks have heard about. It's been talked about for years and years. People have been practicing it for quite a while. Is there anything to this? Bottom line seems to be. There's been a lot of study conducted on this. Now, intermittent fasting, if you don't know what I'm talking about, is a way of restricting your diet that is unlike any other dietary regimen. Typically, when you think about diets, you think about calorie intake restriction. You think about what types of food you're going to eat. You think about, I guess you could call starvation diets intermittent fasting, but it's not intermittent. It's where you just don't eat much ever. None of them tend to be sustainable. A lot of these things are just, there are fads that come and go that people try, and generally a fad is something that ends. And if intermittent fasting is a really different approach to this because it requires a certain amount of discipline, like all dietary programs. But this is different. This is where you decide to not eat for certain periods of the day or not eat certain days of the week. You can figure out what works for you. Currently, I am doing I eat lunch and I eat dinner. I start lunch at noon, and after that, I am done eating by 5:30 or 6 o'clock. I then do not eat again until lunch the following day. And at first, it's a little tricky. You get up, you're hungry, you think you're hungry, and then you just decide, I'm not going to eat till lunch. And you can usually make it pretty well. Other folks might do it where they eat breakfast and they eat lunch and they don't eat dinner. That might be a better way to not go to bed on a full stomach, which is a good thing. The bottom line here is that some people go 5 days a week with eating whenever they want to, and 2 days of not eating at all. There's a lot of different methods, but the bottom line is there's a ton of science out there, and I'm not talking about sort of intuitive stuff, which has its place in the world, but I'm talking about hard science here. I'm talking about studies from Harvard and Johns Hopkins and blah, blah, blah. There's literally hundreds of peer-reviewed scientific studies that go to the very point of this, and that is that it works. And everything from heart function, brain function, which I'm almost 70. That's something I get concerned about. One of the reasons I'm doing it is because I'd like to keep the old noodle functioning up there. There's all sorts of gastrointestinal things that go on. When you stop burning the fuel that you've put in your mouth to the point where there is none left, and all that's left is to start another series of things so that you have energy. One of the things that happens is you lose weight, but all sorts of organ systems are improved by doing this. This has been studied and studied and studied, and the news just keeps getting better and better about this. So if you guys have struggled with, I'd like to lose 5 pounds or 20 pounds or 50 pounds or whatever it is hard. And often only temporarily successful, if successful at all. Intermittent fasting has done something where when you eat, it's not that you eat anything you want or as much as you want, but you eat halfway decent food. Stay away from the super fast foods if you can, but you can eat in that period of time you select. If it's a lot of people do an 8-hour, they 9 to 5, just like a job. They eat during those hours and they don't eat outside of those hours. That doesn't mean you can't drink water, any non-caloric thing like coffee, although, throwing caffeine at yourself, decaf coffee, things like that don't have calories. You can have all you want of. And it doesn't take but a day or two to get accustomed to it. And you'll find that what you've been doing probably most of your life is eating when this part of you says, I'm hungry, not when this part of you says, I'm hungry. And so if you pay attention and say, I'm not going to eat until my stomach itself is gnawing and saying, time to eat. It's something that you have to get used to mentally, but you can. So take a look at it. I don't pretend to be an expert at it, but I've looked at it enough and seen the science. It seems to work. All right, folks. Talk to you later.